Here we have Anais reading an intense sex book.
She took one of her fingers and rubbed it against her clit. Then she removed it and put it in his mouth, letting him savor her juice. She rubbed the finger against her clit again. This time she brought it back to her own mouth to suck the juice off her fingers. Then they began to kiss, both savoring her sweetness at the same time. He pushed her back onto the bed so that her head was hanging halfway over the rear and her nipples were protruding upward. He suckled them one at a time, not only taking her dark pearls into his mouth, but licking their tired breasts, starting at the base of each one with the tip of his tongue, making light circular strokes until he reached the hardened prize. She was in ecstasy. So many nights had been spent alone rubbing her nipples between her fingers, and now her man was devouring them, just like she yearned for all the time. He took both breasts, one in each hand, pushing them together and then sweeping both nipples into his mouth at the same time. Her moans became louder. Still palming her breath with one hand, he made a trail with his tongue down to her belly button, pausing just long enough to take a quick dip into it before moving down to explore between her thighs. Before she can even prepare herself for what was about to come, he took her hardened clit into his mouth and began to let it vibrate on the tip of his tongue. She came for the first time in a matter of seconds. The intensity of his having his mouth touch her there was out of this world. He continued eating her pussy for the next 15 minutes or so, and she came at least 5 or 6 times before he had satisfied his hunger. Then he walked around to the other side of the desk where her head was fallen, still hanging over the side, and brought her face to face with his delicious-looking dick. She hesitated not for a second and took the head of it into her mouth with a heightened desire to know what it tastes like, and there, with her head upside down, she sucked his dick for the very first time. She held the base of it while her hand dick fed her, pushing his manhood in and out of her mouth with increasing speed. She relaxed her throat so that he could eventually get it all in. She loved every minute of it. As his body began to tremble and his knee began to buckle, she was given the added treat of tasting semen and immediately hooked for life on the scrumptious flavor. She lay there savoring every single drop and secretly hoping there would be more to come. Never had she tasted anything so yummy.